Hi, John. Nice to
Meet
meet you.
you.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, so as Mary said, you're Chief Content Officer at Rakuten TV. And Rakuten TV is actually a highly developed streaming service. And I just want to talk through the kind of content you have and the windows that you have on the platform. Because I counted originals, owned and operated channels. You've got third-party channel brands like Euronews and CNN. You've got a VOD store. You've got FAST. I mean, there's a lot on there.
That's right. It's quite a diverse offering. So to give you a bit more context, when the company was created 13 years ago, we were launched as a transactional VOD store. So we were purely focusing on buy and rent Hollywood European movies. But back in 2019, we realized that we needed to diversify that content offering. We couldn't rely solely on transactional anymore. And that's where we stepped into the free with ads proposition. So today, yes, we have all these multiple types of content genres and access offering, but we focus basically in two areas. So one on the transactional business, so the latest Hollywood European movies straight off the cinema, blockbusters. So no subscriptions attached, just pay as you go. And then the other section is the free with ads, regardless if it's on demand or linear through the FAST channel. So these are the two key areas for us.
Okay, and why did you launch the originals?
Yeah, the originals was something that we also had in mind for quite a long time, and it became achievable once we went ahead with AVOD and FAST proposition. The rationale behind it is to enrich our AVOD offering, to have something exclusive, featured content. In certain ways, it's quite a small volume across the year. So the volume representation of our content offering is small, but it brings quite a significant PR and marketing boost to the platform. So at the end of the day, it becomes a hook to attract new users to the store.
Okay, and typical examples, reality shows, and I think you have some current affairs as well.
That's right. So we have something around 20-ish plus originals. It did start indeed with feature documentaries, primarily around athletes or musicians, always with the DNA of trying to following the group's ethics, so around optimism, empowerment, positivity. But more recently, we have transitioned to other types of genres, so not only feature documentaries, but also factual content, and more recently with the reality series Discovering Island. So.
Okay, and in terms of the go-to-market strategy, can you just give us an idea of the kind of device footprint that you have and the geographic footprint?
Right, so we're available across all the usual suspects, right? The TV manufacturers, video game consoles, web, mobile, but certainly the TV manufacturers is a really strong backbone to the company since its beginnings. We are available around 140 million households in all 42 countries of Europe. That's primarily due to, again, that strong relationship with the TV manufacturers where the app is not only pre-installed, but in many of those devices, and we're talking about the leading TV manufacturer brands, we are also present on the branded remote control button. So that gives us quite significant brand exposure, but more importantly, the traffic boost. And that's what also led to us deciding in amplifying our content offering, not only in transactional, but with FAST and AVOD, because it was a much easier and faster conversion of that boost of traffic that was coming through, as opposed to on transactional, where that it's a challenging conversion for a non-registered customer.
Yeah, that's quite an achievement getting on those buttons as well. There's not many of them on there, so well done for that. So you also partner with Telcos. It's not just Smart TV platforms. So tell us about that, because I know you did some. You've done quite an interesting project with Orange in Spain.
That's right. Yeah. So early last year, we did a partnership with Orange where we took over their transactional store. So they already had one there in place. But bottom line, what we try to do with the telcos is take away that hassle of negotiating all the agreements with the studios, content creation, the marketing, merchandise in the store. So we have that know-how, we have those connections, and we also have the scale. So when we're negotiating with rights holders, it's for multiple territories in the region. So for the telco partner, that's quite appealing, and they rather focus on their core businesses. So long story short, what we did was we launched a co-branded video store at Orange in Spain, where we at the end provided more content with more studios, better quality, and not only the rental option, which was what they're currently offered at the moment, but also EST, so buy to own, which was quite unique for that particular market in Spain, where no one else within that segment was doing. So they're very happy with the results, and that's a relationship that's evolving even further, and more to come on that front as well. So we're definitely talking to other telcos across Europe as well.
So you can be a managed VOD store or managed as a service VOD store for telcos, pay TV operators?
Absolutely, and I mean in this particular case, it started only as transactional, but when we approach these type of partners, it goes across all of the business lines that we have. So transactional, AVOD, and FAST, obviously always branded as the Rakuten store.
Okay, and your content partners, do any of them use you for multiple monetization windows? Do you see any content through transactional and then into free?
We do. I mean, a lot has changed since 2018 when we started the brainstorming of this project and reaching out to rights holders. That some were a bit suspicious around the business feasibility around AVOD and FAST, but today I'm very happy to see that we have content partners that not only provide us movies for transactional, but also now for AVOD and for FAST. They've realized that there are certain contents that might not be successful in transactional, and it has a completely different outcome on AVOD and FAST. So they're really benefiting from all of these different sets of windows. And at the same time, it also opened the opportunity for us to reach out and partner with other rights holders that we didn't have any relationship because they didn't have transactional rights or movies. So it was very useful for us to amplify that portfolio of content partners.
Okay, and very quickly, what kind of content works better with free rather than transactional?
Yeah, well, at least for us, on transactional, our base is primarily consuming the latest new releases. So yeah, the big blockbusters, that's what really pushes sales. Obviously, there are certain specific moments in the year that we also would do well in library if it's a seasonality opportunity like Christmas, or a franchise that has been released in cinemas, and we have the previous titles being sold as well. But primarily it's new releases and movies. We don't do TV episodes on transactional. And on FAST and AVOD, I think that's where lies the beauty of the vast range that we can offer. So yes, recency in our eyes is less important on AVOD and FAST from what we've seen in our customer habits. There are many titles, movies that perform really well despite the release year. It's more about the cast, so it's more about actually the artwork of how we portray that in the store. There is that nostalgic, I think, feeling as well behind that consumption. But then when you move away from movies on AVOD and FAST to other genres, I think that's where you see both the back catalog of broadcast groups and media conglomerates that are moving to FAST, but also fresh new content for more niche audiences. That you have these, hardcore fan base that wants to consume that content. So it's quite a bit of a mixed bucket.
And should we just think of FAST as AVOD, but with a passive lean-back experience, or is there actually a content differentiation?
I think it's both. So clearly, yes, the consumer behavior comes into play. There's a segment of our base that they just don't want to waste time on trying to find what they'll watch. So they'll just turn on our fast channels. But on AVOD, primarily what has worked for us is movies. We do have other genres as well, but that's by far the most successful genre. While as in fast, it varies because, as we've heard in other panels, the single IP channels, I think that's doing quite well because it's very easy to explain for the consumer as well what to expect, what to watch. So I don't think it's just a hardcore fan base for that single IP, but it's more about the expectation. But then you also have genres that would not perform well on AVOD, where due to the passive viewing, people just step in, and then there's the stickiness as well, particularly in series, for example, and the replays. So I think you have more options to play around.
Okay, and what would your advice be for a content owner that has relied mainly on subscription and they want to get into free content? Or they want to start, going into free and with ad support?
Call us. I think no, but on a serious note, I think it's prudent to start investigating the segment, and you wouldn't be the first when you look at the U.S. market. What Showtime, HBO, all these highly premium paid brands. Which you wouldn't have imagined putting content for free. They've done that because they see the power of how that can upsell their subscription service. And when you look now here in Europe, I think DAZN, for example, has done a brilliant job in that sense by launching as well their fast channels and at the same time not cannibalizing their premium subscription service. So I think both worlds can sustain and live, and one can help expose more the brand and try to upsell those customers that might want to get more content, even more unique premium content, and go behind that paywall.
Okay, now we won't have time for audience questions, so I'm sorry about that, but last question, 1 minute answer. In terms of improving collaboration between you as a service and the people who provide content for you, whether what they can do to help you or you can do to help them, I mean, what would be the key bullet points there?
Right. So for first, we try to be a very collaborative platform with content rights holders. So it's not just a matter of sending a ad revenue report back to the content partner, but actually trying to work together, sharing insights, working collaboratively with the program schedulers if it's a existing fast channel that we are onboarding on our platform. And as a result, that also comes into play with marketing campaigns, exposure in the store, or through other marketing channels. And in some cases as well, we've due to that a good relationship with the content partner, exploiting titles that maybe they wouldn't have imagined for fast and AVOD, and running marathons, thematical marathons, so that we can tap into out of those windows. So one good example was when we did a few months ago a marathon around the Nicolas Cage movie that was coming out theatrically, and we pretty much had that going on, but then with the latest new release on transactional, then movies on AVOD, and then some of his movies in fast, and it was all suited for that week due to the marketing exposure that was given. So these kind of campaigns and gimmicks are really nice to work together with our partners.
And going backwards very quickly, what do you give them back in terms of data and things like that?
Well, it's more about the performance, right, in terms of plays and what worked well or not, and viewership time. Does that work better in daytime or nighttime? So it really varies depending on the partner, because some partners, unfortunately, they might not have also the capacity and the resource of a dedicated programming team or editorial team and research, or they're not as keen to be that active at the moment, but some are. So that's the type of information we would share.
Brilliant. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Take care.